What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
It wants us to record in full high def?
It says I could change the full high def or 720.
Don't do that. It'll freaking. This camera's got auto framing, so I could do a mobile podcast and walk around the room with my
one of those things. Those things are fun.
Follow me.
Those things are fun. When people use that for TikTok now, it's kind of dizzying though. The way they'll just keep moving, and I'm like, slow.
Yeah,
I've seen people that
stop moving around.
I've seen people that go live on TikTok all the time, and they're doing things in their apartment or house, and they're moving around. I'm like, oh, I'm not in there with you. Slow down.
There is a what company is it? Is it Anchor? I don't know if it's Anchor or not. I don't know who it is, but it's like the MagSafe stands for your phone.
Yeah.
That, your phone just latches on. So the Apple released a thing called Dock Kit, and it's just a pairing protocol with things like this. So it's a MagSafe stand that you pair to you pair NFC to your phone, and then it's a motorized stand, so it'll do that. It'll follow you around. And I was like, that's really cool. I really want it, but I have no use for it. So
yeah, right. Could you imagine? That's
the only use that I thought of it was to get you want to get really futury. You could have one right underneath the TV. And then you can make FaceTime calls and then throw it onto the TV.
On the TV.
So if you put it, and then you can put your phone there, have the phone be the camera for the FaceTime call, and then throw it on the TV. And then anywhere you walk in the living room or whatever you're doing, the phone's just following you.
Interesting.
A little bit of tech news on an F1 podcast.
A little bit of tech news. Hello, everyone.
Hello, friends.
Welcome back. Episode 54 of F1 54? Underground. Yeah. So it was 54, I'm pretty sure. I'm pulling up now. Now you have me second guessing myself.
54.
54. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, welcome back. Another episode, like we said. Probably a little bit on the shorter end. Hasn't been much news since last week. But we're going to preview Japan. Owen's going to give some Discord updates. We can maybe recap a little bit our episode last week with Adam, which was probably one of my favorites that we've had.
I tell you, I have his article up right now on my second monitor.
Yeah.
For the fantasy preview of this weekend. I'm coming for everybody. I'm just saying that. I'm coming for every single person.
Fight in words. Yeah, so we should, like I said, nothing. If you feel like I just got lower, I'd lower the volume of my mic because I felt like last week I was so loud when I watched back clips. Sorry, that was nothing important. That was a note for Owen. But yes, Japan preview, the home race for Yuki Tsunoda, and
we got the sickest art for it today.
Oh, from Visa Cash App Racing Bulls, yeah.
Oh my God, gorgeous.
Gorgeous. It's not only the home race for Yuki Tsunoda, it's also the home race for Haas team principal Ayo Katamatsu, if that's how you pronounce his last name. I'm gonna take a stab at it.
Wait, now I want to try it. Ayo Kamatsu. Yeah.
Did you see the video of him boxing outside of their hospitality before Australia?
Ayo?
Yeah. Haas team principal.
No, I have not seen.
They posted this. Literally, the difference between him and Gunther Steiner is night and day. Outside, it looked like he has his own trainer with him there, and was full on having a boxing workout. I'm pretty sure I posted it on Threads, and I was like, no one's messing with Haas this year, but yeah.
That's good.
And obviously a little It's a little earlier in the year this year, but Japan fans are so creative, so I know they're not going to disappoint literally at all. So,
Oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
yeah. But yes, we didn't do it last week, so we'll jump into meme of the week. Sorry, I have the Phillies game on in the background. I could not be at the Phillies game tonight. It's so cold outside.
I'm watching it. I have it off to my right here on my iPad, and I'm seeing the same thing you are. It's just like the weather and then the rain too. It just does not look like fun.
No, it does not. But yes, meme of the week. I only have one. It's not really a meme, mine. Do you want to go first?
One?
Do you want?
Yeah, because mine's a bit of a classic, so it's pretty easy to.
And I can see yours already, and I have literally a tag along for a TikTok I saw right before we started. So,
Yeah.
I can go first. Okay, so this really isn't a meme, but this was a text Alex Albon got from his grandmother today. Wait, quick, let me take it away. His grandmother said, "Look who I met at the Narita. I don't even know how you're saying
Narita?
airport. Yeah, Narita. I just called him and said, I'm Alex's grandmother. Achieved one of my dreams. Let Alex know so Lando won't think an old lady just made up a claim to take a photo with him."
This is fantastic.
This is literally like one of the most adorable like stories I could see, and it's just the fact that I'm Alex's grandma.
This photo too is such a like grandma pose for a photo of just like the quick, just like let me get a photo, and like the quick just lean in of just like, hey. This is fantastic.
It's so cute. The best is so then Lando reposted this Instagram story from Alex and said, I was lucky to get a photo with her, and I was like, I can't. I was like, what the heck? Yeah, what the hell happened? Phillies game,
I don't know.
First pitch in.
Oh, Stubbs caught him off his hand. He took it to the private area, I think.
Meme of the week with a little side of
I
Phillies.
think he took it to the private area because he got up and immediately reached down and grabbed it.
And JT's warming up. But yes, that's my meme of the week with special appearance from Alex's grandma.
Very good.
Yeah, it's too perfect not to show it.
Mine's a classic.
Right. I see it.
Quick classic. It's just classic Will Buxton. If you are driving at Suzuka, you are racing in Japan. Thank you, Will. It's just a picture of literally him in front of the Netflix black background of just his clearly very easy quotes and like easy things to point out during Drive to Survive. So I thought it was funny. I was also like last minute searching for this, and I was like, I gotta find a good one. I found this one, so we're sticking. It's a good one.
I saw literally right before we started recording. I was on TikTok just scrolling through, and it's the Red Flags podcast. I've seen their clips and stuff. They had Will Buxton on as a guest, and he said that his daughter is now like he can't say anything to his daughter because his daughter's like, you are a meme. He's like, I can't do anything because she just turns around and is like, you are a meme. But they're like, yeah, but you are a meme. Like, how many people can say that you are a meme? Like, you legit are a meme. Yeah. So the fact that he knows it and his daughter's not letting him forget is so good.
Name nowadays, being a meme.
Yeah, it's like you've made it. Like, come on, Will Buxton, you've made it.
100% is you made it. I just saw a video the other day. It was a kid who a couple years ago was in Little League World Series, and his name, he like does the like interviews, and he's like, my name is Big Al. I forget what he says first, but he's like, my name is Big Al. I like doing something, and I like hitting dingers. And
I know exactly who you're talking about.
And I saw a video the other day, and I don't know how long ago this video was or anything, but he's clearly older in it. And I don't know if he's in high school or clearly looks like high school to college range. And he's repeating the video, and I was like, that's gotta be awesome. Just like being imagine going up to someone and just be like, yo, you see that video, that fat kid who said he likes hitting dingers during the Little League World Series? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, that's me.
Like, you have a fun fact for life. Like, you literally have a fun fact. Like, imagine, like, the Vine memes, like, OG memes from Vine.
Oh, my
like,
God.
The ones that
That's such
still
a
get
good,
quoted
two
today.
truths and a lie type thing
Yeah.
too.
Because
Like,
people are going to be like, nah.
Who's the little girl that you quote all the time too?
Oh,
That's girl.
yeah,
She's set for life because
Mom and I
she
quote
can
her
walk
like
up to anybody. She can walk up to anybody, and it's not even that she has one video that she's like.
No, I could do her whole discography.
She's got like 20 videos. So they can be like, oh yeah, like that freaking Bats girl, that's hilarious. She's like the girl that says like you're winning at life. She could be like, that's also me.
You know what she also is? You know what else? What other meme she is? The I smell like beef. That's her.
That is her. See? This is what I'm talking about.
She's I smell like beef.
Not only does she have a meme about herself, she also has multiple known memes.
Multiple.
Herself. She's really got it made.
You can go on and watch like a whole she was like when Vine was a thing, she had so many. Yeah, you can go on and watch so many of her. No, have you seen? This should have been my meme of the week, but you can't play the sound through the Leclerc audio that every single professional athlete or sporting like genre is using. Have you seen it? He's literally like, it's this little kid. Is it from Jeddah or Bahrain? Maybe last year. He's like above, like yelling down to Leclerc during the driver's parade, and he just keeps saying his name. He's like, Leclerc, Leclerc, and then he starts coughing. Yeah.
Doesn't Leclerc notice? Doesn't he eventually like turn around?
I think so.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's so funny. He's everywhere. Brooklyn Nets have used the audio like 3 times. Ryanair's used it. MLB has not, and they should because I mean he threw out a first pitch at the Yankees last year. Who else? Oh, Wimbledon used it.
Oh my god!
And then I think he's a DJ, Alan Walker. He literally just remixed it, and I just put right before we also came on. I saw it again, like a dance club remix. Like if that came on at the bar, I'd be like, yeah.
That's like what does that remind me of? I don't know if you ever listened to them. It's Big Booty Mix on YouTube.
Yes.
It's like 2 friends put the hour-long clip of music together, and Nick loves them. Is like always like tuned in to whenever the first one, whenever they premiere the next one. And he sends me one 2 years ago. I think they just did 24. I think it's either 21 or 22. And he sends me the YouTube link and he goes, go to timestamp whatever. And I'm like, all right, it's go to timestamp whatever. And the music's playing and then it cuts to a transition and it's Toto from the 2021 year. Where he's like, no, Michael, that's so unfair. And then it jumps into this beat drop. And I was like, that is fantastic.
That's so good. And Nick was probably like, yes. There's Beyonce's new album that came out. One of the songs, someone on TikTok posted a video of them dancing to it. He's wearing a Ferrari, this sick red leather Ferrari jacket. I've never wanted a jacket in my entire life. One of the comments, I legit was laughing to myself for 5 minutes. One of the comments says, Lewis Hamilton next year Ferrari.
Oh, yeah. 100, yeah.
I was dying.
He'll show up with some form of custom Ferrari branded jacket or shirt or anything just because we've talked about this before. He loves to wear sweet outfits race weekends, but Ferrari also wants them to wear Ferrari stuff. So it's he'll find some happy medium with it.
Which that's a good segue into weekly news. It's so he's on the cover of GQ. I want to go find the GQ article or the magazine if they're selling them all because they're having awards coming out and he's one of the people that's getting the Global Creativity Award. He's one of the people getting one.
Cool.
I mean,
that's really cool.
I mean, literally, I'm gonna call this person out. I'm not gonna say their username. I sent you the screenshot because I reposted the photos and said, I literally said, Sir Lewis Hamilton, the man you are, and we get, oh, this page has lost its F1 credibility. I was like, for posting Lewis Hamilton?
First of all, here's what I would like to say too. Thank you for even thinking that we had
we had credibility.
We have freaking credibility, which is fucking awesome.
We have no credibility. That's what someone responded. We have our core group that will come to our defense with anything. I don't even have to respond and they'll come. Someone said, "You mean like a podcast page that's doing it as for like fun?" I was like, "Thank you. I'm not even offended that you said that."
Yeah.
I'm not even offended.
Something that's our hobby and we're not getting paid for, and
Yeah.
we like this stuff.
We just do this for fun. Thank you for thinking we have credibility.
Yeah, really.
Just because I like to post F1 news that comes out pretty quickly. I mean, I'm honored, but thank you. But yeah, it was cool for Lewis, and then he did one of those. GQ always does those interviews. Max has done one. George might have done one. They like sit and answer like fan questions, like they're on like Twitter and Reddit and all this stuff. Lewis did one.
Familiar.
Lewis did one, so it's really cool. So you get. I mean, I could listen to Lewis Hamilton. He needs an autobiography, and then he needs to like do an audiobook because I could listen to him talk about his life for forever.
Yeah.
But he goes into a lot of different things, like his non-alcoholic brand, working with Tom Cruise in the movie, like a bunch of different things. His style. He even dabbles on 2021, like Abu Dhabi 2021. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah, that's a piece of F1 news. And then shocker, Threads broke again yesterday. It breaks once a week now. It's really annoying. It's really
they gotta fix the servers, man.
It's so annoying. But yesterday was the best because you only could post pictures or GIFs. Or polls.
What?
So you couldn't post just words. You could only post pictures, GIFs, or like you can do the polls. That's all you could post. So it was honestly hilarious because everyone was talking in GIFs or like typing messages in notes and then screenshotting it and posting it, or then like doing the polls. But then today everyone's polls were ending at the same time.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. But yes, that's not F1 news, but it was worth it. Also, I didn't plan going to take pictures with cherry blossoms this week, the same week as Japan, and all the drivers keep posting pictures with cherry blossoms. But it
was very timely. I did think of that when you posted your picture. I was like, "Oh, that's neat." And then I was like, "Oh, cherry blossoms." And then I like was watching a show, and it's in Japan, and I was like, "Oh, cherry blossoms." I was like, "Oh, Casey." I was like, "Oh, that's kind of." I was like,
so that's like on Instagram. When I posted the timings for this week on Instagram, I like shared it to the story, but I put the like one of my pictures behind it because that's what their posters have cherry blossoms.
Yeah.
Then I posted on Threads. I was twinning with Charlotte Claire because he posted this like shot of the trees on either side, and I have one like kind of similar. So I put me shaking hands, Charlotte Claire taking pictures of cherry blossoms.
Very good.
Yeah. More important news. This has actually happened this morning. I don't know if you saw this. McLaren has announced that David Sanchez has left the team as a part of a technical restructuring. He only joined the team in January and came from Ferrari.
Did you read this article at all?
I read Chris Medlin's post. Whose article, Marks? Did he post one?
No, I didn't read Mark's yet, actually. I was reading the F1 article because I saw the notification come across my phone. So I started reading the article a little bit, and it clearly is like they weren't getting along.
They didn't get along. No. I mean, that's what's in it. Stella's quote says, "Upon our joint reflection, it became apparent that the role, responsibilities, and ambitions associated with David's position did not align with our original expectations when he agreed to join us in February." Yeah, it was not a...
It's the same corporate speak of like when a director leaves a movie and they're like, so-and-so's leaving a movie for creative differences. Mm-hmm. It's just they didn't get along and nobody really liked the other person being there, and that was it.
Yeah. He said, "See ya."
It sucks because I'm really hoping it doesn't hurt McLaren's performance going forward.
No, because I don't even know what he was doing. I can't remember what he was doing.
Chief of design or something like that.
Oh. Wait. This is why these were trending today? This should have been my meme.
Former Ferrari aerodynamics specialist.
I'm resharing my screen.
Was one of McLaren's key signings over the winter, and now he's gone. Wait, hold on.
This is him. We should have known. Charles Leclerc looked miserable last year speaking with him during preseason testing. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, we should have known that. McLaren, you should have taken... Oh, never mind. What the heck am I doing? McLaren, you should have taken one look at these pictures and said, do we really want him?
Yeah. Yeah, he was... It says, however, following a number of discussions over the job responsibilities, Sanchez has vacated his position as technical director, car concept, and performance, leading to a series of updates across the department. So, like I said, again, they just didn't... They didn't let, after a series of conversations, that's, to me, that sounds like a series of arguments happened, and they just didn't like each other, and he decided to leave and was like, you know what, this isn't worth my time. Like I said, because of the position he held, I hope it doesn't affect McLaren in a negative way.
I wouldn't think so. Because now you have, Chris Medlin listed the other parts of the restructuring, I think, to make up for his role, David Sanchez.
Yeah.
So it says, Rob Marshall, which he's the one they got from Red Bull, is now the chief designer.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah. Anil Houldey, it's Houldey, is now the technical director of engineering. And a Peter, all these last names, will stay as the technical director. And then Stella's going to assume the duties of the technical director of performance until there is a new hire. So,
all right, so he's just filling in the interim.
Stella has some added on job duties, but that's okay. Well,
that makes me feel a little bit better.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think it'll affect them anyway. I mean, it just makes me like, that guy was clearly probably a hire at Ferrari under Matteo Binotto. Especially if he was at Bahrain testing last year and Charles Leclerc looked annoyed. That car was, Fred cleaned house, man. Clean in house.
Definitely a Binotto hiring. Yeah.
Which apparently he's been spotted in Japan. If he shows up in that paddock and something goes wrong with Charles Leclerc's car, I'm flying to Japan myself.
Coincidence.
I
think not.
I'm gonna be like, I need Gino Lessi to be at the front of Charles Leclerc's garage morning, noon, and night. Like, you better sleep over, Gino Lessi, because you are our protector. You're the protector of car 16. But yes, okay, ran over. Another piece of news. This is actually related to IndyCar. Tasia sent it to me today, but Detroit GP posted, which they're May 31st to June 2nd, that there are multiple spots, because it's in Detroit, it's in the city. There are multiple spots that are free for anyone to go watch. Free, open to the public. They did it last year, and apparently it was a hit, so they're doing it again. But yeah.
I don't see why that wouldn't be a hit. Yeah.
That's what I was like. Vegas could never. Vegas literally was like threatening to arrest people if they were trying to watch the race illegally. But like, this is why IndyCar is so accessible to everyone.
This is
like,
that's exactly what I was just gonna say. I'm immediately thinking about you getting asked by the Andretti people at IndyCar. What's your, about the accessibility and everything, and it's that's awesome. Exactly that's really cool.
Yeah. But yeah, that's super cool to see. And I mean, they do have a lot of city tracks. There was St. Pete, you could get just like a general admission ticket, and you got into like the just like the kind of almost like the fairgrounds. I was wondering why you were going like this. Get into the fairgrounds. It's not the fairgrounds, but that's what I'm like. All the food stand and stuff. But then there was like a big grassy area that you could go and sit and watch. And there was a track that went right by and a screen that you could see. But I think based off this, Detroit must have more options, which is cool. Let me just do a quick scroll. Yeah, but how about Visa Cash Apps poster? I'm sorry, Steak. I think they might have you on this one.
So, 100%. It's the art looks beautiful on it, and it's so cool that it's strictly just Yuki. It's not even like not that it would be a bad thing if it was like a team poster and it was like, just a little bit more prominently on Yuki. but I love the fact that it was just strictly just all Yuki, and it was like, good luck, go get it. Like, it was awesome.
No, I did. It was cool.
Wait, are we done? Are we done news?
I have one more thing, but
Okay. I was gonna say, depending on what that one more thing is, I have one thing as well. So
well, no, this came out yesterday. Monday? Yeah. This came out yesterday, so April Fool's Day. It was basically saying that Liberty Media has announced that they have their acquisition of MotoGP. People, I literally couldn't believe it was true because it came out on April Fool's Day. It was like the first thing I saw.
You gotta take everything with
Is this real? But then, like, I found the article from MotoGP.com, and I literally posted, "This is not an April Fool's joke."
Yeah, it is. It is legit. It is.
People are up in the air, but people are excited for it.
MotoGP, I think, is really cool. It's something I would definitely love to watch, just because again, it's another motorsport. But it's
they're at Coda next weekend.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know how right now to watch it, other than just like the stray, like, oh, I catch it when it's on TV, like whatever.
Yeah.
But I hope with this, it gets pumped out a little bit more. Maybe it gets wrapped into a couple. Maybe there's now MotoGP TV if there isn't already.
Yeah, or they put it on F1 TV. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Right. So I definitely I'm interested. Like I said, I don't know enough to like form
I don't
opinion on it of like this is bad, this is good. It has my interest. We'll go from there.
No, it's so impressive. From the clips that I've seen, it's so impressive to watch. They literally this is the road. They are leaning on the ground. It's wild.
It's like nasty. Some of the clips I see.
Mm-hmm. And they go fast. I could never. I can't even ride a normal bike. Good. Sometimes I feel like at spin class I'm gonna fall off the stationary bike.
Oh my god! Now that would be if that text came through the family group chat that you had fallen off the stationary spin bike.
Where are the mini sombreros?
Oh, the mini sombreros are out in the living room right now.
Okay.
She just shouted "Hey" from the living room.
Okay, but what were you gonna say? Weekly news if it wasn't.
I was gonna say the Liberty Media MotoGP stuff.
Oh, you were gonna say what I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Because I had the same thing of just where I was like, did this happen? But is this an April Fool's joke? Because like you can't trust anything April Fool's Day from any company. Anything that gets pumped out, you can't trust it whatsoever. And when that came out, I was like, I don't know if this is real or not. And then I was like, I was doing the same thing as you, was like trying to find other sources, and I didn't find anything. And I think it was just because I was a little bit too like quick. Like there wasn't a lot of sources that were pumping out an article yet. And I did it today. I looked it up again, and I was like, all right, so this is legit. This is something we should talk about like tonight and everything.
No, that'll be cool. And hopefully, I mean, I feel like interest in MotoGP is growing as well. So it'll be cool to see how Liberty. That's why I know why people are on the fence, because of how Liberty Media treats F1 sometimes and how they work with F1. But I think it could be good for what's it called? I think it could be for MotoGP. People are saying the next Netflix doc will be Ride to Survive for MotoGP.
I would watch it.
I would watch it too. If there's one thing Netflix does right, is good sports documentaries.
Good sports documentaries. Yeah, I gotta finish Full Swing season 2. I gotta get on that.
I've never watched that one. Maybe I should.
It's good. It's definitely not. It's golf. It's not exhilarating.
Do they show the Netflix Cup in it at all, or no?
No, because the first season came out before that, and then I'm only. Well, they might show it this season. I'm only like 3 episodes in. So, yeah. And there's 10 episodes like Drive to Survive, so I have they might, but
okay. But yes, okay. I don't have a thing for your updates, so I'm just going to use this.
It's fine. It'll be super quick. If you're a member of our Discord, you'll seen this already. There's a new section. It is called Underground Studios. And essentially what it means is it's just an automated posting spot for when new episodes of shows within our network are posted. This includes Underground Sports Philly, Getting the Whole, Streaming Season, all the shows we've talked about on here before. We thought it was just a fun way to maybe get some people expanded to everybody else in our company. I know we talk about Kyle a lot on this show and everything.
Yeah.
And just to get people kind of maybe familiar with who's who. The one update I can also give as well is for the Underground Sports Philadelphia Discord, because they have their own Discord. We're going to be transforming that kind of into, because right now it's kind of like bare bones built out and everything. And it was a good start by Kyle and everybody else who worked on it. But we're going to be turning that into a hub for essentially all things underground sports.
Cool.
So similar to how we have team roles on our Discord server with Ferrari, Red Bull, McLaren, all that stuff, we're going to have show roles on the other Discord. And it's kind of just like it's a spot that we're really hoping to kind of be like, hey, I'm familiar with F1 Underground, but they always talk about Underground Sports Philly. Or
so they can find the other
shows.
shows.
I'm a fan of F1, and I really want to, I'm also a fan of movies and TV shows and everything. I know Underground Sports has a, show about that. Okay, let me, give myself this role or be part of this server where they'll get news, new episodes, and kind of just like a general community to hang out, just like our Discord.
Okay.
So I've been going back and forth with Kyle about it for a while, and we're both pretty excited about this idea. But it's essentially just going to be like a general hub of underground sports stuff. But that's my short Discord update for everybody who's there. And if anybody's interested, you can find our Discord link to join on our social media platforms and come hang out. Join the fun. We're close to 200 members, so I would really like we're 158. So we're what's that? 42 men away from 200.
Interesting.
Which would be awesome to join. Just the fact that we have 150 people is wild to me. But if we had 200 people, there we go. You could join our fantasy league, where we all just know now at this point I'm just going to whoop everybody's ass. But
that's what you think.
Besides the point.
No, but that's also a good segue. That was good. Yes, last week's episode. If you didn't listen, it's a good one. I highly recommend.
It's a good one.
Please go listen. It was our talk with Adam from F1 Fantasy HQ. It was great. We went into all things fantasy. Talked about the show that he has. Which is super cool. I am literally rethinking everything. Like, I'm going to actually go into this weekend with strategy. And China is our first sprint race weekend, so save your, what was it, 3 times DRS?
3 times
for that
point, yeah.
Yeah, save it for that one, because I don't know why I've never thought of that. It makes perfect sense. When he said that, I was like, what? Am I stupid?
It's one of those things that, like, exactly, like, it makes so much sense, but you don't think of it, and then when you do think of it, you're immediately like, why didn't I do that sooner? Like, so, yeah, I had a blast doing that episode with Adam. That was so much fun. Like you said, this would be the first weekend going into it where I actually feel like I have, like, a legit, like, strategy in mind, and it's not just like, oh, I think so-and-so is going to do well, like... very good episode.
Yeah, but that was a good one. Lots of good points to learn from there. Definitely, yeah. So, like I said, I'm definitely gonna go into it with this weekend with more. I'm gonna pay attention more to each. I mean, I pay attention to each session to begin with, but I pay attention to each better.
Yeah.
So then I can pick that, get that team good.
For me, it kind of adds more of an like. Definitely, like, watching practices and everything, I watch them with not as much, degree of attentiveness that I do, like, qualifying with a race and everything. Mm-hmm. But now it's like when I'm watching them, I'm like, all right, this I'm watching for, people, setting up, because why can I think of the word? The roster, there we go, locks in before qualifying.
Yes.
So that's when you have all 3 practice sessions to watch and pay attention and be like, oh wow, Aston Martin's a little bit, higher places than I thought they were going to be. Maybe I should switch them out with somebody else, or and go from there. So definitely have a little bit more emphasis on practice for me.
Yeah, and also like because like Joe a few weeks ago, how he crashed in Q3 or FP3 and he couldn't go into qualifying. So you knew not to even pick him as like one of the cheap drivers that you have because he wasn't going to qualify well. Probably wasn't going to make it far up the grid. And yeah, so it is definitely. I always knew you had until qualifying, but I was someone like after FP2, like after the first day, be like, okay, I can set my team lineup. But now I'm not. Now I'm going to wait.
That's how I was always kind of like that too, where I was like, all right, I've watched practice 1, I've watched a little bit of practice 2. Like I have a pretty decent sense of who's going to fall where and everything. And yeah, now it's just like, oh shit, Yeah. But I definitely, But Max last week screwed me in the points.
Yeah, he did. The fact that you gave him double too.
I gave him the triple. So he DQ'd. He DNF'd, and I lost 30 points. Just like screwed me over.
It's so good.
He's coming back with vengeance, though, this week.
Oh,
I will say this. He's coming back with vengeance.
I said last week the coincidences between Carlos's win in Singapore and Carlos's win in Australia, both having Suzuka after. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's gonna win by like 30 seconds.
Yeah,
he's gonna lap more than half the grid. Also, do you know how last week we were saying that like George crashed on the last lap for both wins?
Yes.
Do you know George crashed in Silverstone also when Carlos won?
No, he did not.
Yeah, so every time Carlos wins, George Russell crashes. Maybe they would be good teammates. I want to look it up.
You want to know the other creepy thing that I saw? Apparently, in the past 2 races, when Singapore and
that's Silverstone 2022. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
It was
What race did we just have? Why am I blank?
Australia.
Thank you. Singapore and Australia. George crashed when Crofty says commentating, and you can hear the cheers from the crowd. In both clips, both races, Crofty goes, "Oh, you can hear the cheers from the crowd," and he crashes. I'm dead serious. If I can find the clip, I'll send it to you because I was like, I saw it. I was like, no, because it is eerily like similar. Like Crofty barely finishes a sentence, and he's immediately right into the next of like, oh, and there's George Russell. The barriers, like it was insane.
You have to send it to me. I just looked it up though. Silverstone 2022 is when Joe had his really bad crash. And George got out of the car to go check on him. So he technically, he crashed too.
Yeah.
So yeah, but then Carlos goes and wins. So every time Carlos has won the past 3 years, George Russell has not finished the race.
So we should, if like George crashes in like qualifying or something, do you just slam the Carlos Sainz winner of the race bet? Like, is that
because I think Max is going to go on and win every race for the rest of the season unless they have reliability issues again. I need someone to beat. This is no dig on Carlos Sainz. I need someone to beat Red Bull in a fair race. If that makes sense. I need Max to be in it. I need back and forth. I need Max to finish at the end. Yeah.
I will say, I definitely. Last week's race, and we talked about this a little bit when we had Adam, like, that was the best race I've watched in a while, and it was 100% because Max was not in it. Like,
but then if you think about it, it still was kind of boring. There wasn't many battles back and forth. So I can see both. Yeah. Like, it's still, Carlos was dominating the whole thing because Charles was told to help, like, hold back and stuff, but, it's definitely, Max is winning by 30 seconds. I will not be surprised.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm scrolling Formula Dank right now to try to find this George Russell thing. And I see a post from yesterday, and it says, "This is too obvious, guys. Stop with these unrealistic fakes." Somebody posted a picture yesterday, and it's the breaking Lewis Hamilton, the Joy Ferrari in 2025 picture.
I almost posted that again, being like, guys, did you know this? April Fools.
April Fools, everybody.
But yes. Moving on, go right into it since we've already started it. I do want to talk about it first. It's kind of almost like history with Casey, but it's very, very short. Stealing your bit today.
History with Casey?
Yeah, because it's
cue the classical music.
because it's Suzuka, Japan. It's also been 10 years since the 2014 Formula One Japanese Grand Prix. That Grand Prix was in October, but still 10 years, which also means it's 10 years since Jules Bianchi lost control and crashed on the 43rd lap of that race. He went into the tractor crane. Tractor crane. We all know, sadly, what happened at the end of that one. Yeah, the race was supposed to run for 53 laps, but it was ended early, out in the 46 because of the crash on the 43rd lap. So yeah,
Yeah.
it is sad to think about the fact it's been 10 years. But yeah, Charles Leclerc is also, that's one of the biggest reasons why Charles Leclerc is never going to leave Ferrari, because he's fulfilling Jules' legacy also at the same time, like 100%. But yes, Japan. That was my quick history with Casey. Japan. Like we said, this is gonna be a short one. Do you want to do Linus's question first?
Yeah, let's do that because it can kind of lead right into predictions too.
Okay. So we got a lovely question from our favorite Linus. Said, who do you think out of Ferrari and McLaren have a better chance of a podium this weekend? He continues to go, Ferrari are coming off the back of a 1-2, but McLaren are getting better every race, and Suzuka massively suits their car. Just look at their double podium last year. So who do you think out of Ferrari and McLaren have a better chance at podium this weekend?
This was really hard for me to answer, and on the one hand, you have Ferrari coming off of the 1-2, like you wrote.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably hoping that they're going to carry that confidence into this weekend, and they are going to carry that, and like they are going to carry that into it of just like, we can do this. We know we're close to Red Bull. We know we can beat Red Bull because we just beat Sergio Perez. Both cars just beat Sergio Perez. You know, like
easily.
We know we can do it. Yeah, easily. So it's like they're coming in with that confidence of like the kind of like the I did it before and I can do it again mindset of just like now we've seen the success and we know it can happen. But then you also have McLaren, who is etching its way further ahead of Mercedes in the Constructors Championship. So like 30 points ahead of them now, which is awesome. I love it, but they're getting closer to Ferrari and Red Bull. And I don't think
and they have looked good.
They have looked really good, and I don't think they're competitors just yet.
No.
And I the only reason I say that is just because we haven't really seen, like, yes, Lando got podium last weekend, which was awesome.
No,
like,
2 weekends ago.
2 races ago. Sorry. I'm sorry. Like, that was great. Love to see it. But, like, it just feels like Ferrari has a little bit more of that consistency edge to them right now. And like I said, this news of Sanchez leaving, I'm really hoping doesn't hurt McLaren. I don't think it'll hurt them going into this weekend. I'm more so concerned about 2 races from now in China. But I just, something about it, as much as it pains me to say it, I think it is Ferrari. I do think it's Ferrari going into this weekend with that confidence of just like, all right, we know we can do it. We know we have success. I think Charles and Carlos too, especially, are getting more confident with the car and knowing what it can do and how fast they can push it and everything. And yeah, I think it's Ferrari. As much as I want it to be McLaren, like, don't get me wrong. Would I love to see, a flip of what we had last week? Even though, like we said, Max is coming in first this weekend. There's just no doubt about it in my head.
Red Bull is bringing upgrades this weekend. What upgrades do they need? But they're bringing upgrades.
Right. So, like, ideally, like an ideal finish for me would be Red Bull 1-2, McLaren 3-4, Ferrari 5-6. Like, that would be great. I don't think that's going to happen, though.
I was saying, I could even see it being, like, intermixed. Like, I see a Red Bull. I can see a Ferrari and a McLaren on the podium. I can see both from each team, one from each team. It's really, I don't think McLaren's there yet. I think because of McLaren's momentum last year and how well they improved that car, it was later in the season, obviously, Suzuka. So they were fine-tuning that car so well. So I think that's why I played to their strengths. I still feel like there's stuff they're not 100% sure about in the car for this year. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
The one thing, too, that this is my mind. I know this isn't how probably they're thinking over there in McLaren, but you have McLaren who finished 4th last year behind Mercedes. Like I said, is now 30 points ahead of Mercedes and is in 3rd in the Constructors' Championship. I don't know off the top of my head how far behind Ferrari they are, but I have to wonder a little bit if they are thinking more in the terms of like, okay, yes, if something happens to Checo, Max, Carlos, or Charles, and we can get ahead of them, we'll happily take it. But for right now, our main focus is let's just widen this gap as much as we can between us and Mercedes.
Yeah. So there's 38 points behind Ferrari.
Right. So that's okay. So that now if Lando were to get first and close that gap by 25 points, whole different story we're talking about.
And if Oscar ended up on the podium, yeah, whole different story.
Oh, yeah, whole different story. But I just think with that gap, and like I said, McLaren's already in a much better position than they were last year. Not saying that they're like not being like, let's go and do as good as we can and everything, but they're already doing as better as we can. So there's got to be in my mind, there's got to be some part of Zach Brown that's saying, okay, yes, we want to do more, but we're also kind of happy where we're at.
Yeah, they're play it safe, maybe.
Yes, let's just play it safe. Let's just, like we said, just focus. More of our focus is on staying ahead of Mercedes than it is catching Ferrari, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So it's like that also I can see will play into it of just like, if it's, let's do it again, let's do 1-2 Red Bull, 3-4 Ferrari, and then 5-6 McLaren, but Mercedes is 7,
not in the points
8,
or
9,
whatever. Yeah.
9, 10. Yeah. I can see it just being like, hey, just stay in front of the Mercedes. Like, that's it. That's all we need you to do. Just like Matt, and then I could see the radio call being like, all right, you're in a good spot, manage tires, don't go after the Ferraris, go from there.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do like that.
I can definitely see it being Ferrari, I think, has a little bit of the edge going into this weekend. But however, you did send me a picture of the weather forecast.
Yeah, I just looked. So there's now like a 40 or 50% chance of rain on Sunday. Every other day looks cloudy. So it has changed. It has improved. But yeah, the other day it literally was rain every single day.
Yeah, that's the thing. That could, if it does rain, that could change again and it could rain all day. Again, that's a whole different story we're talking about. But it's just...
it is also Suzuka. It rains there like every year at some point. Yeah. So I have a feeling there will be cars on track in the rain at some point. Which a quali in the rain, you never know what you could get. That could be interesting. But yeah, so
that could be another Haas pole.
Could you imagine? But yeah, so you want to give predictions?
I do. I will say though, I want to say this too, just because I did this recently. I recorded more of the videos for our fast facts and everything. I had a blast driving this track.
Did you?
I think it's really cool. I thought it was a really well balanced between like really high speed straights and slow corners and everything, and like really tight corners. So I had a blast doing it. Now that could have been because I decided to switch up the format a little bit and I went with a qualifying session first. So I started on pole, but that is besides the point. I think it's a really good track. I'm excited to see it. Yeah.
Okay.
But
that'll be fun. They always take a good race. Yeah, predictions.
My predictions.
Wait, I have something. So we give our normal, but then I want to know where you think Yuji's going to finish. Do you think he has a good weekend or you think he has a bad weekend?
Ooh, that's good. I like that. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So first, Max.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it going. I think Charles is gonna keep it. I think Charles is gonna come back a little bit with a vengeance, just from Carlos winning and everything. I also think he needs to step up a little bit because the only other guy who has won this year so far is the guy that Ferrari's getting rid of. So
yeah, but I have Oh, I'll say what I have to say.
Yeah, but I can see. I'll say this: I can see it being Max, Charles, Carlos,
Hmm.
and then Lando, Checo. I'll give you top 5 actually.
Okay. So my top 2 are going to be the same: Max, Charles. I
Okay.
think because last week was the first time, or Australia was the first time Charles was not on the front row in 7 races. That's pretty
Wow, I
impressive.
don't think I realized that. Wow.
Yes, so that's what people like. I saw people saying that, like, what is Charles done? People were like, he's been on the front row and like he's had the car issues. Like, it's
Yeah.
not been him. But also his record after Carlos's win in Singapore, he was a man on a mission. So I
Oh
think,
yeah.
and if you look, people were like saying he looked happy, but you can see that man's eyes when Carlos is like showing him the trophy. Charles is like, mhm. Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
fakest little like, yeah.
It's common, like, yeah, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for my teammate, but also at the same time, like, fuck you. I wanted
Yeah.
that. Like,
Yeah, so I think he's going to be a man on the mission. I could see him getting pole, but I do think Max is going to be on a mission.
Yeah.
So yeah, Max, Charles. I'm going to say Lando.
Oh, okay. All right.
So you did 5. Okay. Max, Charles, Lando.
I just did 5 because I wanted to get Checo in there too.
Yeah, but Checo's Checo. I feel like you don't know what you're
Yeah.
going to get Checo.
Kind of a wild card.
Yeah, it's definitely a wild card. Yeah, Max, Charles, Lando. I'll say Carlos, Checo. I don't think Checo has a
Max, Charles, Lando, Carlos, Checo. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I like it.
Yuki though, I think Yuki has a good weekend. I could see Yuki ending up in the points, like
I'll
decently
go.
up in the points.
I did top 5. I'll go Yuki P7.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that's a long shot because off of my top 5, I think after Checo will come Oscar.
Yeah,
And
and
then,
probably a Mercedes, but
yeah, so that's the thing. Like, Yuki would have to beat out a Mercedes, Aston Martin.
yeah.
Yeah, to even get in the points. He would have to beat out both those cars to
Yeah.
get in the points.
I do think he continues on his. I mean, he's been killing it, so I do think he continues on that run. I do think he's going to continue to outperform Daniel. I mean, I hope he has a good weekend. I hope he has a special helmet. He hasn't posted one yet, but I hope he has a special helmet.
Or he will.
Yeah, but I can see. I'll say. I mean, where you said is pretty good. I would say I could see him finishing like P7 as well, like right there in the middle, collecting some points. But yeah, not. I can't see him.
Yes.
Mercedes, you never know. Hamilton and that Mercedes, you never know what you're getting. So I could see him
Yeah.
beating Hamilton, but I can't see him beating Alonso.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. You know what? I'm switching it up. I'm going P9.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I'm going P9.
okay.
I think that's a little bit more realistic.
For you, okay.
Yeah. But I think
Yeah,
I
for
do
it.
want him to have a good weekend. I really
Yeah.
want him to have a good weekend, especially, because it is his home race and everything. And it's just home races are so hard because it's like you never know if the driver's gonna buckle under the home race pressure or if they're just gonna like eat it up and use it, and they're just
Yeah,
like,
that's.
I'm so
I mean,
hyped for this, it's not gonna perform.
there is a hometown curse. It's literally for every driver
Yeah,
when it's their
true.
hometown race. Like, I think maybe besides Lewis and Max, everyone else is affected by the hometown curse.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, I can see that. It's another late one for us, 1 a.m. But
It is another late one.
nothing will be as late as China, and then we
I
have a
will be
good
up on
stretch for
time
a
for this
while.
one.
You better, because
I
no,
will
can
be
you
up
actually
on time.
can we test the theory? Can you be waking up like 5 minutes late again, so maybe Max will team? No,
Shit,
don't do
I
it,
could do
because
that.
no, because I knew you were.
I will say this. I will say this. There is a possibility of it happening. It is always probable.
Oh, it's always a problem.
But if Max goes out again this race, I will collectively lose my shit at
No,
morning.
I will lose my mind.
I will absolutely flip because that means so many different things for the drivers' championships and the constructors' championships. Like that's just.
I mean, if he was to, this is now we're being Delulu. If he was to DNF and Charles Leclerc was to finish on the podium, Charles Leclerc would be in first. Like
for any position on the podium.
It goes so 1 through 4 point wise. Max 51, Charles 47, Checo 46, Carlos 40. Oscar's in fifth. Oscar's in fifth with 28. So if Max was to DNF and like Charles and Carlos would end on the podium, they would jump ahead.
So Max is 51, Charles is 47, right?
Checo's 46, Carlos is 40.
If Max were to DNF, Charles would have to finish no less than P7 to get ahead of him in the drivers' championship. But yes, we are being delusional.
We're being delusional.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, Adrian knew he's not letting the brakes on that car.
No,
be unreliable 2 weeks in a row, please.
We better have enjoyed that while it's lasted, because that will be the last like mechanical failure we see for
the next 2 years. Exactly like it was Australia. It was literally 2 years since his last DNF in Australia of 2022.
Yeah,
that's literally the last time it would happen. But yes, I don't think anything else. Anything else to add?
I got nothing. I can close this out if need be. Like you said, it was a shorter one.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, so thank you for tuning in today, everybody, to our shorter episode.
We said shorter, still like an hour.
Yeah, but I mean, compared to our normal like hour 20.
Yeah.
There you go, people. You're getting 20 whole minutes back on your day. You're not listening to our voices. Please make sure to follow us on our social media. They are scrolling at the bottom. But if you are not watching on video, on Instagram and Threads, we are at Underground to F1. And on Twitter, we are at underground_F1. Like I mentioned as well earlier, if you want to join our Discord, our link to join is in our social media platforms. They're in our bios. They're on our link tree. You can find that on all across our platforms. It's a really cool spot to come hang out and meet our community and talk to us and everything. We're pretty active in there, talking to people back and forth and whatnot. But yeah, go follow us there. Come hang out. Come join us. Thank you for tuning in today. Please go also follow us on or subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yes.
We're trying to get to 800 subscribers as quick as possible. The end goal is 1,000. We're at 752 right now. So please go subscribe to us there. It is at Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's where you get video episodes of all of our shows on our network, like we talked about earlier. But yeah, also a great spot for just underground sports content. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. We will talk to you next week after a very tired watch of Japan.
Yes. See ya next.